Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video, it's gonna be my experience with the pill, what I'm experiencing, my opinion on it, side effects, how do I feel using it, and all this kind of stuff. So if you like these type of videos, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel down below, and hit the notification bell. If you want to know more about my experience with the pill and all about that jazz, keep watching. So as you all know, because I spoke it on my Instagram and I made a video about my acne here on YouTube, I started taking the pill. So I started experiencing problems on my skin, like acne problems. I tried different things, antibiotics, different products, blah 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 blah, and they didn't work. So I went to a dermatologist and I started taking the pill because that's what she advised me to do. So the pill I'm taking, I already showed that in my previous video, is this one here. So this is the CHEERZ pill. Obviously there's different types of pills, like, you know, I think there's like thousands of different ones. You know, some are heavier and some are lighter. I've heard that this one that I'm taking is very light. Obviously very different from the pills that they started producing in the market years ago, like, you know, where they would make you gain weight and they were just packed with loads of things that like weren't really healthy. So these ones are a bit better, but they still have negative side effects. So obviously I heard a lot of bad things about certain pills, different people taking them. This one that I'm taking, I always heard good reviews, you know, a few of the side effects which are bad, which I experienced, but nothing very bad as other pills reviews. So I just finished my first packet, so I have to start tomorrow my second packet, and I'm on a 6-month prescription. So if I like how my skin is getting on after 6 months, I'll stop taking the pill. If I still have acne problems, I can keep getting the pill. And, you know, if I want to take it for other reasons, like, you know, I can just get another prescription. But my dermatologist gave me a 6 months prescription. So to start from the beginning, I didn't start taking the pill for contraception reasons. You know, the only reason why I started taking the pill was for acne. I suffer from very bad acne, as I spoke in my last video. So that was the reason. You know, usually when you have a lot of hormones, your period isn't regular, kind of the last step that doctors, you know, try to figure out is the pill. So they give you the pill to balance your hormones, balance your period, and then that will just improve your skin. Obviously in my case, because I have a lot of hormones, my period isn't regular, my body is all messed up, you know, that's what causes my acne, which is all over the place. So I tried everything, but obviously we arrived to the conclusion where it wasn't my diet, it wasn't my lifestyle, it wasn't the makeup, it wasn't a lot of things that, like, you know, can cause breakouts, but it was my hormones. So even if I ate more healthy, if I didn't wear makeup, if I had a better lifestyle, I would still break out. So, you know, you can't really, obviously if you eat healthy and, you know, you take care of your skin, obviously, you know, that helps. But when you have an imbalance in your hormones, break out a lot, certain things have to be controlled by, you know, the pill. Like, you can't really do anything yourself. So I wasn't really happy at the start because I didn't really want to be dependent on something like the pill. You know, you have to take it every day, and obviously you can't forget it. And, you know, I didn't want to put something in my body like that could have repercussions in the future. Like, you know, obviously they're tested and all this kind of stuff, but I was always thinking, you know, what if this pill will have negative effects in the future, you know, what will happen to my body. But at the same time, I was like, I want to eliminate my acne, so you know I have to start taking the pill. So anyways, I wasn't really happy, but I was like, okay, like, you know, if this is what I have to do, I'll do it. Started taking the pills 1 month ago, as I said. So at the start, I took one every day. So BEAUTYBIGBANG here contains 24 active pills, and which are the pink pills, and 4 placebo pills, which are the sugar. I'm on my period right now. So at the start, I was like, grand, no side effects, you know, everything was right. Obviously, I just started it now, so like, you know, I'm talking about my experience, but I don't really have a lot of experience. Like just my first month finished, so I still have to experience second month, third month, maybe other things could happen. So I'm gonna make a video at the end when I finish the pill, but I'm talking about my experience so far. So at the start, not really any side effects, you know. I've heard that loads of pills could give mood swings and could be very moody. I'm a very moody person in general, so I wasn't really worried about that. You know, I wouldn't really notice if I was moody because I'm a moody person anyway. So I was like, grand, I feel good. I would have expected something else, you know, to feel a bit week and that kind of stuff, and then I was like, perfect. After a few weeks, this was last week, I started feeling very sick. So I have a lot of diarrhea, nausea, a lot of nausea. Everything I would smell would just make me feel sick. I didn't really want to eat anything. A lot of headaches. So obviously I understood that was a side effect of the pill I was taking. So I actually didn't work for 4 days. Usually I always work even when I feel sick, but I felt so sick, nausea, a lot of diarrhea. I was very sick because I had a bit of fever last week because one of my wisdom teeth was coming out, so I didn't feel well. Plus all this stuff was added in with the pill, so everything was mixed, so I felt very bad. Everything I would smell, like, you know, when I was having lunch at my mom's, like if there was stuff on the table, I would feel very, like, you know, sick. I didn't want to smell anything, I didn't want to eat anything. Nausea, I've heard that's a very popular side effect, but diarrhea, I don't know. Like everything I would eat or drink, you know, I would have diarrhea. I wouldn't feel well. A lot of headaches. I felt very, very weak. So like if I would stand up and do something, maybe clean something in the house, do something in the house for 10 minutes, after 10 minutes of doing that thing, like after 10 minutes of starting that thing I was doing, I would feel like sweating and like I feel like I was fainting. So I had to continuously sit down. I couldn't really do anything. Like even if I was doing something quick at home, after 5-10 minutes I would feel very tired, like if I went for a 3-hour run. Even when I went back to work, I felt very weak, like, you know, if I always had to sit down and, you know, rest. Now I feel better. All the side effects went away, like, you know, apart from the mood swings. I'm very moody. I'm a very moody person in general, but you know, if I have a fight with someone, an argument with a family member, with my boyfriend, I would cry over everything. I would be very moody. I would always give out. I'm kind of like that person in general, but since I started taking the pill, I'm very moody. Like, you know, any argument, I would start crying, giving out, being like a 14-year-old. And then I think about it, I'm just like, oh my god, like, you know, that's so strange. But obviously because like I'm getting in so many hormones in my body with the pill, I understand that, you know, obviously that causes mood swings. So I was expecting that, like, you know, I read that everywhere. I knew that was gonna happen. So obviously people take the pill for many reasons. Obviously the biggest reason would be contraception. You know, most of the girls take that for, as I said, that wouldn't be my case. I only took it for acne. Like, you know, that's a great tool to fix your acne. And, you know, some people take it for years. To be honest, at the start I was like, you know, after 6 months I'm gonna stop taking the pill when my prescription is over, because, you know, I just want to stop. But now thinking about it, maybe I'm gonna keep taking it, because, you know, obviously all these side effects, you know, are not great. but I'm just scared that if I stop taking it, you know, my skin could go back to how it was. Like I don't want that. Now I'm taking the pill and my acne will be fixed and I won't have acne anymore, and then if I stop taking the pill, my skin will go back like before. So that doesn't really make sense. Like I don't want something that stops my acne for like 6 months. I want something that stops my acne like forever. So I don't know how that's gonna work out. So if my acne is gonna come back, obviously I have to keep taking the pill, you know. I'm gonna put a few pictures here. That's my skin when I start taking the pill, and then I'm gonna post a picture of my skin now. So now I don't really have any spots, maybe a few here, but the majority of texture that you can see on my skin, that's mainly scars. I have a lot of texture, which is not really like, you know, it's not really spots. Like a few are spots here, but the majority of texture that you can see in the picture is just a lot of scars. They're still healing, so they look like I have spots, but mainly like proper spots. Maybe I have a few here, you know, here I have one maybe, but I don't really have spots at the moment. Just my skin has to heal. So I'm in that phase where no breaking out, thank God, but I still have a lot of healing. So where I'm starting to introduce products to heal my scars, because obviously if you have very bad acne, like, you know, most of the times you're gonna have scars for life. Like people that have like severe acne, like, you know, even when they cure their acne, they still have scars. That's why a lot of people get laser done to remove their scars. In my case, I'm very lucky because my acne is not severe. Like it's a mild acne, you know. I wouldn't really even say mild. You know, obviously I've seen people that do have like very severe acne, and like it wouldn't be like mine, but I do have scars. But my scars, I think, would be the ones where, like, you know, if you have care and use the correct products, I could, you know, get rid of them. Obviously I still have a few scars that probably will never go away on my chin of acne when I was a teenager. Probably I didn't treat it well, you know, squeeze it, the usual. And even now, after loads of years, like, you know, 4 or 5 years, I still have acne or like discoloration. I have a lot of discoloration, like, you know, a few brown spots, and you know, but I still have scars, mainly on my chin. I don't know why. I don't remember. I don't know what I've done when I was a teenager, but like, you know, obviously those scars are gonna remain, you know. I'm used to it. Like it would be weird to see my face without my scars. Like I'm not scarred to the point where, you know, it's very bad. I have a few scars on my chin, the usual, but I'm used to it, you know. So I finished my first month. Obviously it's not enough. Like I think I will see improvement in my skin after 3 to 4 months, but now after 1 month I finished my first packet, I can see a lot of improvement. Like if you see my face when I start taking the pill, like it was a disaster. Like I can actually see a lot of improvement now. How my skin is healing, like even the difference in the texture, like it's very weird, you know. Like for me, that obviously I see myself in the mirror every morning, you know, I notice these things, but obviously I hope that in 3-4 months it will be like plain, like a filter on my face. So I'll see what happened after 6 months, and then, you know, if I'll get acne, I'll probably keep using it, you know. Like I have to see, like, you know, so I'll keep you updated with that. So obviously, apart from like bad side effects, you know, negative things like being dependent on the pill, like obviously you can't forget about it, like you have to take it every day, like it's a serious thing, and obviously you're putting hormones in your body, which, you know, it's not really a natural thing, you know. Like in the future, in the long term, it can cause a lot of things. Like, you know, it's proven that the pill most of the times causes blood clots, like, you know, stuff like that. So I'd say like taking it for, there's people that take it for 10 years or more, like all their life. Personally, I wouldn't do that. I don't think that's very healthy. Like in my case, obviously I'm taking it for acne, but I wouldn't be taking it forever, because, you know, like all that stuff I'm putting in my body, eventually it will come out. So it will cause something negative, you know. I get very paranoid about these things. So that's one thing obviously that worries me. Another thing that obviously was my biggest concern was weight gain. So who knows me know that I'm a freak about weight gain. Like I get very paranoid. Like all my life I was, you know, I always had the same body, like you know, maybe when I was a baby I was very chubby. I would eat a lot, and then around 6-7 years of age literally changed completely. Like I started to be very picky about things. Like I'm a very weird person about food. I would be very picky, you know, like I would smell everything. Obviously changed a bit when I got my period, like, you know, I had more shape, but I was kind of always the same person, like, you know, always same breast and same shapes. I never changed completely. So I always saw myself with the same body. I was always very confident about my body, you know. Obviously there's things I would like to change, like everyone, you know. If you ask me, I would change everything, you know, but I always liked my body, you know. I always exercise. Obviously there's so many things I would change, but I never reached the point where, you know, I wouldn't go out for my body, or I wouldn't wear a certain type of clothes for my body, you know. I always like to wear everything. I felt confident, like, you know. I never gained weight, so I was that kind of person that had a very fast metabolism. At the same time I would exercise, but at the same time I would be very paranoid. So if I would gain a few kilos, I would get so paranoid, like I would think about that all day. But there was never a situation where I gained weight in my life, you know, maybe a few kilos, you know, but never a difference, you know. I was always the same. I always had the same body, you know, because I'm a very small person, like, you know, I don't tend to gain weight. So the biggest concern was weight gain. So when I went to get my prescription to my dermatologist, I asked her, and, you know, I was like, does the pill make you gain weight? Because it's proven that obviously the pills that they created at the start, the first pills, those would make you gain weight AF, because the amount of stuff they would put in those pills was, you know. Now obviously we're in 2020, everything changed, they make them lighter, you know. But like, obviously when you're putting hormones in a person, you're gonna gain weight, you know. When they put all that stuff in your body, like, I think eventually you'll gain weight. Like, it's impossible, like, you know. So I don't know. And she was like, my dermatologist, she was like, no, absolutely, this doesn't make you gain weight. And I was like, yeah, you know, just want to know, because I'm very paranoid about these things, you know. Not that I wouldn't take it, but like, you know, I get very paranoid. So I always weighted the same. I never, like, you know, I always weight around the same number. Like, you know, as I said, I never gain a lot of weight. So the past few months I've gained a few kilos, maybe 2-3 kilos, which in stone would be maybe half a stone, I'd say. I don't know, I never weight myself in stones, I always weight myself in kilos. Anyways, I gained 2-3 kilos, so obviously that made me very paranoid, because so I did weight myself and I still weigh around the same, you know. I didn't gain a lot, but I've heard, like, at the start I was getting so freaked out, because when she prescribed me the pill, I was reading a lot of stuff online about people that are getting the pill I'm taking, and all the reviews were like, weight gain, massive weight gain, like literally from one body to another body, like everyone was saying that. So I was freaking out, like, and I was just like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? Like, I'm so paranoid about these things. But to me, still nothing happened. Obviously I'm just starting the 2nd month package, so I don't know, it could happen, but I think everyone is different. Maybe depends what body you have. No, like, I don't know, it could happen to me as well, but thank god nothing major has happened, so I didn't experience any weight gain. So that's the most important thing for me. Obviously there's a lot of retention of fluids, so like, you know, probably you do gain a bit, but I'm gonna keep you updated. But for the moment, nada. As I said, all the side effects, so headaches, a lot of headaches. Well, I always experience very bad headaches, but headaches, a lot of nausea. Oh my god, I literally never experienced so much nausea in my life. Mood swings, oh my god, I'm fighting with everyone at the moment. So the usual side effects you read everywhere, I experienced them all. Positive things, obviously now I know when I'm getting my period. So for me it was very hard, because my period was always very irregular. So obviously I did get it every month. There was never a month where my period skipped. Every month I did get it. happened a few times, like 2 summers ago, where like for a full month I had my period, like 30 days I had my period. So I had to visit a doctor. My hormones were all over the place, gave me medication. So a lot of cases like that happen with me. So I got my period when I was 12. I'm 23 now. Always irregular. So as I said, I do get it every month, but sometimes it could come a week before, sometimes could come a week after, 2 weeks after, 2 weeks before. So I never know, like, you know the way most of people do know, because their period is regular. For me, I don't know. I might say has to come on the 12th of this month. Does it come? I don't know. It could come before, it could come after. Sometimes if I'm lucky, and I say that if I'm lucky, 2 days after, 3 days after, that's for me, it's luck. Recently, the past few months, I have to say it was always coming every 30, 31 days. So never like a week before, a week after. Every 30 days would, come. So I was actually lucky the past few months. For the length of my period, I always had a very long period. So at the start, when I got it, when I was very young, 11 days, 12 days, always very long. Now a bit shorter, 8-9 days always. I never got it less than 7 days. If it's 7 days, it's a rare event. Usually 8-9 days always. Flow, very, very heavy. I always had a very heavy period, like the first few days. So the days I'm in now, like now I have my period, literally I died. The first day I'm in bed all day. I would be very sick, like I can't do anything, like work, whatever. I take a lot of medication, so Nurofen, Panadol for the first 3-4 days, because if I don't take medication, literally I die. The pain the first 3 days of my period, I can't even explain. It's always been like that, so I'm used to it. I have a type of pain that I always get when I have my period. I do recognize it. It would be weird to not have my usual pain, so I'm used to get all this medication, it would be very heavy, so I always have to change. Always had a very heavy period, to be honest. I repeat, it would be rare to have a lighter period. This I think is genetic, because my mom, my sister, they would have very heavy periods. Like my mom especially would be like worse than mine, so I think I got it from her. Probably it's family, genetics, like very heavy period. As I said, a positive thing of the pill, I know when I'm getting my period. So I know that at the end of the packet, I was getting my period. Class, I knew what day was coming. Good, because if I have to plan an event, I have to go somewhere, like, if I want to plan my holidays, because every time I go holidays, like last year I went holidays, my period was supposed to come before my holidays. It didn't. It came literally the first day I arrived to the place where we were going. We stayed there 7 days. My period lasts 8-9 days. All the 7 days I had my period. So obviously I don't go into the water. I know a lot of people wear Tampax, they go into the water. Me, no. I would even feel like worse. Like I feel very sick. Like, I wouldn't be able, can't stay under the sun, because I feel very sick when I have my period. Like I faint a lot. I feel very dizzy. So like going somewhere and like, not doing anything, like, it's not nice. So obviously now, because I'm taking the pill, I know when I have my period. So if I want to go somewhere with my boyfriend, like holidays, I know when to book it. Because before, like, it was always like I would book it and then I think, oh, I'll book it this date because my period has to come a week before, and then it wouldn't, and it would come that week. That would be very annoying. Another thing I've heard, it's lighter flow, so your flow would be very light. At the moment I'm not experiencing that. My flow is still very heavy. So I don't know, maybe the first time you get it when you're taking the pill, like now for me, maybe it's like that. Maybe next month, that would be my second time having a period while taking the pill. Maybe it'll be a lighter flow, so I'll let you know about that. I've heard that obviously when you take the pill, instead of like 10 days like me having the period, it'll be like 5 days, 4 days. So I still have my period, so I'll let you know that as well. Maybe I'll write it in the description box. I hope. It would be lovely to have my period for 4 or 5 days. That would be, the best. So yeah, obviously the advice to take the pill, your first packet. So if you're taking the pill as a first time, they advise to take the pill on the first day of your period. In my case, when I visited my dermatologist, my period ended a week before, so she prescribed me the pill. I could have waited another month and waited to take the pill on the first day of my period, but because I had to wait another month for my period to start, I couldn't take it straight away. So I was like, no, because either you take it on the first day of your period, or either you take it on a normal day. So I was like, no, I'm not going to wait my period because there's still another month. Like, I want to start taking it now, like, to see results. So I took it the day after, which was just a regular day. So obviously, instead of getting my period after a month, I got it after a month, after 5 weeks, because, I took it a week after my period has ended. So, I didn't take it in time. So instead of getting my period the usual week that I always get my period, I got it like, this week, which I never got my period this week. I delayed it. So that's why I think I was very sick last week. Like, I had to stay home because I think like the pill was taking my period in, because it usually comes that week, but obviously because I started taking the pill, I had to delay my period of a week. So like, it was keeping it in, and like that would cause all the side effects and making me sick. So obviously that wasn't healthy, like, so yeah, this is really my experience with the pill. Like, as I said, very moody, but I like the results. Like, it's just a month now. I didn't expect all these results, so I'm very happy with the results. This pill is very light, I don't really mind it. Like, I'll keep going with this one. Like, I didn't experience horrendous things like other girls with other pills I've heard, just shocked. Obviously positive things, as I said, I know when my period is coming, everything is regular. Hopefully I'll have a lighter flow, I hope. I'll let you know about that. I'll have a shorter period, which I will love that, and my acne will resolve. So this is really my experience. I'm only on the first month. I can't really tell you more. I'll let you know more. I'll make a video when I'll end my 6-month cycle. But apart from that, with my experience of this month, if you struggle with acne, if I was you, I would visit your dermatologist, and if you feel comfortable about taking the pill, I would, I'd say, think about it. This is not one of those reviews where I'm like, oh no, I had such a bad experience with the pill, don't take it. Obviously it has its side effects, because you're putting something in your body. You can't expect of taking something and everything remain the same. Obviously when you put hormones in your body is going to change. Your mood is going to change. Like, it's hormones. Like, you can't expect to be everything like it was before. It's like, when I started taking it, I knew what I was going into. Like, I knew, obviously I was going to feel different. Like, that was kind of like common sense, So but apart from that, I don't feel so different. I'm just like, no, I can't take it anymore. Like, I just feel, obviously I feel a bit moody, I feel a bit weak. I'm a very weak person. Like, I always feel like I need to rest, and I get tired very easily, like, because I wouldn't really eat a lot. I don't really have a lot of energy. I was always like this, but obviously now a bit more, like, I feel a bit like, a bit weak. But obviously I understand that's a side effect. But apart from these things, if you struggle with acne, I've seen brilliant results just after a month, so I can't wait after 3 months. So it's giving me like good experience, it's giving me good results. So to be honest, I'm happy. I'm happy to continue. I'm happy to see what happens. So yeah, my review is a good review. Like, I like, the only bad things I have to say, it's just few side effects, but and there's a little leaflet as well that I got into the pill. So obviously it's very helpful. Like, if you have side effects, or like it kind of tells you as well, like, if you forget to take the pill. So if you forget to take the pill from number 1 to 8, what to do, from number 8 to 15, what to do. Like, obviously some girls like me that never took the pill, so I didn't know how it worked. Like, if you forget one pill, what to do, if this happened, what to do. So that's very helpful, because like, even though I'm 23, I wouldn't have a clue, with these things, because I never took the pill in my life. So like, for me, it was a new chapter, So I'll see what happens now. I'll see how I feel. I'll see how my skin goes, and I'll let you know. I hope you enjoyed, and if you have any questions about the pill, about my experience, just let me know. You can either message me on Instagram or comment down in the comment box. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you very, very, very soon. Bye bye.